This is a severe weather briefing for April 12th, 2020. The Storm Prediction Center currently has a moderate risk of severe weather highlighted from northern Louisiana through central Mississippi and into Alabama. This is in anticipation of a potential tornado outbreak developing this afternoon and evening, which is all a result of a very strong mid-level, upper-level system indicated here on this map by this intense amplifying shortwave, which we see goes from a neutral tilt, and then as we progress through the map, which it's not doing anymore, it becomes a negative tilt as it amplifies and wind speeds become much stronger in mid levels, and that's going to be overspreading this area here, as well as creating upper level dynamics for cyclogenesis, which we see here on the Weather Prediction Center surface analysis map, shows a very strong surface cyclone into the 992 millibar range, which is initially over Oklahoma and then progresses through Arkansas into southern Illinois during the evening hours. And as it's doing this, when we look here at this map, as this is amplifying, low level flow will be amplifying, increasing moisture advection off the Gulf. It's going to be coming up into this region, and the warm front's going to be lifting north also. So we'll have moisture advection, which could compensate some for any convective overturning occurring during the morning, and that will lead to an unstable air mass, which this is what the current prediction is. Basically, we're looking at moderate to large Cape. That's a bad drawing. From southeastern Arkansas into central Mississippi and central portions of Alabama, SB Cape could range from as low as 1,500 joules per kilogram up to possibly 3,000 joules per kilogram, with this indicating that the axis will be somewhere around here, but it could spread farther east as well and lead to strong buoyancy in surface parcels. At the same time, with the intense upper level flow that we just looked at spreading into the region, effective wind shear is going to be immensely strong through the region. As this goes into tomorrow afternoon, we see, based on this rapid refresh projection, between 20Z and 23Z, this area here develops very strong effective layer shear values between 65 and maybe 75 knots, which is going to support well-organized convective updraft supercell development in addition to strong linear segments. And one other indicator of supercell and tornado potential we're going to be looking at is the effective storm relative velocity. Now this is going to increase as the low level flow amplifies with a deepening of the surface cyclone, and also with curvature associated with the vertical flow profile that is especially in closer proximity to the surface cyclone. And this is looking at tomorrow afternoon. We see incredible explosive values of this parameter right in the moderate risk area, which at this range of 400 to 600, maybe 700 meters squared per second squared, would be highly supportive of well-organized mesocyclones and potentially several tornadoes, some of which could be strong, perhaps even violent and long-tracked. And this is indicated by the HREF version 2 fixed layer significant tornado parameter projection values that tomorrow afternoon for portions of this moderate risk area increase. And now these values here we're looking at are between 6 and 10, sometimes exceeding 10. So based on composite parameters, a highly unstable, a highly volatile environment, which in the case of discrete convection could possibly support the development of a tornado outbreak with significant damaging long-lived tornadoes. Part of the forcing that's going to come from this upper level shortwave that convects into the area could help to support the development of discrete supercells, because we look here and we see this area is a somewhat defluent exit region and could contribute to substantial upper level dynamics, in addition to the dynamics in the left exit region downstream from the base of the shortwave, which will lead to surface cyclogenesis. Looking at simulated reflectivity, we're going to have a complex situation. We have morning convection, which is over parts of Arkansas and northern Mississippi, and then between the 12Z and 18Z period, what is perhaps going to be the most influential aspect of all this is what all of this does in here. Because there could be linear segments, there could be an MCS, there could be supercells, and those could be producing significant severe weather even during the morning hours. Now, depending on how widespread they are, it could possibly reduce the severe weather risk, but if it does not reduce the severe weather risk, and we move along into the afternoon hours, now this is just based on off of the HRRR model, we're going to see a couple of things, a really complex map when you look at it. We've got these thunderstorms developing over here, some of which could be supercellular, some linear, some producing strong tornadoes, and some producing widespread wind damage primarily. We've also got a new area of supercells that's going to be developing down here and will progress northeastward into this region during the afternoon. And then way back here toward eastern Oklahoma, we have the initiation, I cannot draw on this thing, the initiation of new convection, which could produce tornadoes and widespread wind damage in addition to large hail, depending on the mode it takes, and it will probably be a mix of supercells and linear Boeing segments, potentially coalescing into a larger MCS during the evening hours. As we move along here in this particular member of the ensemble, if it will ever load, these storms spread over into central and northern Alabama, southern central Tennessee, northern Georgia, and we also have the convection moving through Arkansas into Tennessee and Kentucky during the same time frame. So what we're really going to have to look out for is the development of discrete supercells, particularly in this region, because this is going to be the hotspot of strong low-level instability indicated by large cape values, incredibly intense vertical wind shear indicated by effective bulk shear between 60 and 75 knots, and effective storm velocity, which in this area could possibly range from 400 to 600, maybe 700 meters squared per second squared, and that's why we're seeing the updraft velocity tracks on these and the kind of hooked nature to the discrete cells, which could definitely be supercellular. There are lingering uncertainties, and this risk area could change, it could be upgraded, it could be downgraded, but the point is that as of right now, this area right here looks most likely to see the potential for several tornadoes, some intense, some long tracked, and in addition we're going to also see areas of widespread wind damage, some of which could be significant. So this represents our current thinking based on the forecast information and model guidance we have available now, but continue to monitor the situation closely as it develops during the morning hours. This has been a severe weather forecast evaluation for April 12th, 2020, possibly one of two if I decide to make another one during the afternoon, depending on what changes occur, if any.